Hello, my name is Christy, and several years ago, my mom got a lot of ribbon yarn to make some Christmas decorations. She made the decorations, hated the yarn because ribbon yarn is hard to work with, and gave it to me. And I've been sitting on it for a while. I have decided that I'm going to use it to make a bag, a purse. So I'm going to crochet a bag. I've been playing around with the gauge and I'm going to use my gigantic 10mm hook and holding the yarn double to make a bulky, cute style bag. Literally no clue what design I'm going to do quite yet. I tried to work in the round with this, simply could not do it. Doesn't mean it's not possible, so I might try again once I'm, able to experiment. But the main point of this is that this weekend I'm going camping. We're going off the grid. And I am very excited to spend the weekend chilling in a chair by the fire, crocheting. One of my favorite things about crochet is that it is, depending on the project, a very mobile type of craft where you can do it in the car, pretty much anywhere. All you need is your hook and these things and your yarn. And it's a little more mobile than knitting, in my opinion, because every stitch of crochet is finished once you're finished with it, whereas knitting, you have to do a special process to finish the whole thing. And so there's just less risk of things happening, because right now the only stitch that I could mess up is the one that is currently open. So if something happens to it, it's fine. You're down one stitch, maybe a couple. So the plan is to go to the campsite, set up, and then get some beautiful clips of nature and crochet a little bit of a bag. Now, I have absolutely no design ideas yet. I'm just working through the gauge. One of the reasons that I decided to work with this yarn is that I don't like it that much. And if I drop it in the mud, that'd be all right. I could live with that. So I think we're going to be okay. Now, my original idea for this bag was to make something that was a half circle and then fold it in half and have a kind of taco shaped purse. But when I tried to crochet it in the round, simply could not do it. Like I said, ribbon yarn is just big, it's incredibly stiff, and it is hard to work with. I think, some people work with it all the time. They say it's worth it. I don't believe you. And my wrists are a little bit delicate for it. So then my next thought was to just do a simple square, but I think I'm going to go as big as I can with this and make just one long rectangle that I can sew up the sides, most likely. But that sounds a little bit boring, so might do something a little bit more creative. We just got to get in and see how the yarn behaves, what I'm feeling, what I'm able to do with it, because I feel a little bit limited with how stiff this is, especially holding a double. So I'm very excited to take you guys with me, and we're going to do a fun transition with it. Let's go. Ooh, I am waiting inside the tent while my husband starts a fire because the mosquitoes, about as big as mice, I would say, are after me. And having myself a beverage, getting camp set up. Cheers, babe. I'll give y'all a tour of our Hillbilly Deluxe camping site. Yes, we use an air mattress. It's not like we're hiking out here, we're car camping. An air mattress is the number one thing I would bring while camping. Makes it so livable. That little bastard. He's after me. You can smell I'm in here. Even the ants are enormous. Look at that. It's huge. Get back where you belong, bud. Ooh, that's good and hot. Okay. And now we wait.
If you're looking, they ain't cooking. I think they're cooking.
They are cooking.
I think the using of the pan is brilliant. Masterful gambit, Taylor.
Making it more like an oven. The plan is to make a very large rectangle, fold it in half, and have a tote.
Really?
So, using single crochet the whole way, which is good because I can do this by feel when it gets dark, because I forgot my book light.
You have flashlight. You have headlamps.
Ooh, yeah. Emma, we good? Coffee. We forgot the pour over set, so I'm not super sure how we're going to complete the pour over. But I believe in our MacGyver ingenuity to find a way to do such a thing. Got that going. Okay. The plan is to use this as sort of a French press and then go French press straight into a pour over. Okay, moment of truth. Don't burn yourself. Okay.
Motto this weekend.
Commit. Commit. I think that's working. This is the concluding shot to the coffee saga. Having a sip. I'm playing Yarn Chicken way faster than I was expecting. I thought that this would go a lot farther. I've got about half as much as I would really like. Right now, folded in half, it looks like that, which is more like a purse, and I was going for more of a tote, but that's okay. I'm really, really happy with how it's working up. The texture reminds me of like a rug. So it's gonna be a perfect bag, and I probably wouldn't use this yarn for anything else besides a bag or a rug or something that needs to be very sturdy. It's not gonna stretch much. It's gonna be excellent. I just hope I have enough yarn to make straps the length that I want and the bag to be, you know, the size that I want, but only time will tell. After this, the plan is to go for a hike and go for a swim because it's going to be like 90 degrees today. So I really just have this downtime this morning to work on this today until this evening. So just a reminder. Okay, let's see how this goes. Just need one on this side, long enough to sew up. Okay, I'm gonna go a little longer than I normally would because this fabric is very thick and it's gonna eat up a lot of my length. It didn't do anything. Okay. 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 Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, we're gonna immediately tie a knot in the end lightly because these fray really bad.
I think some people are wrapping up the marathon.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Wonder if that's like first place. Okay. So I've got enough to sew up this side. I'm gonna cut enough to sew up the other side. And then I am going to use all the rest of the yarn to make the straps. This is gonna be like a zero waste project. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, tie a knot. Yeah, I can push that through. All right, for safekeeping, it's time to make the straps. I haven't decided if I want 2 straps or 1 because I'm just not sure how far this amount of yarn will go. But we'll just start with a long chain. I think we'll have enough for 2. So I'm just gonna single crochet all the way back down, but the key is to crochet in the back bumps instead of the V's, because that leaves the V to be a very nice finished edge on the bottom, and you almost can't tell which side is the starting chain. It's just beautiful. So that is best practice. Supposed to do that all the time, but I really do it only when it matters.
So like when school is out, you just pin up your like grab this off for us and stay like for like 2 weeks vacation.
I can lay down, I can paddle, I can stand up. It seems like that's better than a canoe.
This is some outdoor boy footage.
Yeah.
Ooh, it looks very pretty. The colors hitting the trees is nice. This will be my B-roll. So at some point coming back from camping, I have misplaced my project with the book that I had with it, the yarn, the hook, the bag that it was in. I have no idea where I put it. I cannot find it. So instead of spiraling, I am just going to make something else. And if I find the project, I find it. If I don't, I don't. At this point, we just need to get the ball rolling, find something to do, and not get too down in the dumps about going on a whole ass vacation and not, we're going to have a positive attitude about it because I'm really glad I went. I'm glad that I got to work on it, and I will finish it when I find it. So I've got a couple of options. I've got some yarn that I need to wind, and my plan is to just kind of brainstorm, work through some things, get some swatches going, and see what calls to me. I don't like balling yarn, mostly because it is hard for me. My arms get tired, my brain gets tired, and I lose the will to keep going. This shouldn't be too bad because this isn't a huge, big skein. Oh God. Oh no, I just cut. What did I cut? I cut the one you're supposed to do last. Okay. We will not panic. So when you get these type of skeins, typically in the past, I have them wind it for me at the store, but the event that I bought this yarn at, they weren't doing any winding, and I've been meaning to go back, and I certainly will, but I figure I need to get this underway before I go back and have them ball my yarn for me because I am a princess and I'm not supposed to do this kind of work. I know that some people find it satisfying, but I personally just get very frustrated. I don't quite have the temperament for it. So I enjoy like winding yarn if it's coming from a skein or a ball of like any kind. But this is tough. It's difficult to keep tension. I'm already not doing well. Do some yarn yoga. Oh my God. This isn't working at all. Key is really not to panic. Maybe I should like do it over my neck. Can already see this is worse. Okay, don't doubt yourself. So the main thing that I am missing and that is making this process so difficult is something called a swift, which is a like canopy looking thing that allows the yarn to be held kind of taut like this. I might have to get my husband. My husband is acting as my swift now, so let's get this done. 20 minutes later, I could not have done that without my husband's help. Something happened. I don't know. This is why I hate it. But it's done. The hard part's over. We can focus on moving on. Okay. Next is to decide what hook. I did not suggest one. So I just used that 3.5. That was way too small. So I'm just going to chain with the 4. I think that's going to be too small as well. You can just kind of tell how it's going to work up. It's going to be too small as well. So let's try the 4.5. Probably going to be good. It would be nice to use the 5. Ooh, this feels good. Let me just go back through. You can just kind of feel the stitches with experience. When I was a beginner, I always used too small of a hook. I don't know why. The way that I would figure out what size hook was right was I would take the hook and put the yarn in it and pull it taut and see how much of the hook the yarn filled up and just kind of eyeball it. See, this feels slightly too small as well. I'm gonna do one more row of single crochet, and then I'm gonna try out the, ooh, that does feel good. Need to, no, it needs to be slightly bigger. Merino wool is sometimes deceptively thick because it will pull very tight. And obviously when it pulls tight, it gets skinnier. And then once you work it up, it will sort of bounce back to its real shape. Wow. Okay, that is too tight. It's possible I'll need my 5.5 because yeah, so when you work with the yarn, it becomes quite thin. And then once you're done working and you're looking back at your piece, you can see, there's no holes in the fabric. It's extremely dense, which sometimes is what you want. Most of the time, though, too dense. As I'm looking at this yarn, it's super thick compared to what I was thinking. At this point, this is easily the most off I've ever been with guessing a gauge on the first try. There is not any on the thing. It just says 4-ply DK weight, fine merino wool. So, okay, see where I went wrong. This is a DK weight yarn, and I read that it was fine merino wool and thought that that was the gauge, but it's DK. So yeah, 3.5 is not going to work. I've never misjudged a yarn so much in my life. This is what I thought I would use, and this is what I'm actually using. And for reference, this is what the lemon peel stitch looks like, and this is a 3.5 gauge. So this one is about twice as big, so my swatch should be, much bigger than this. It's gonna be fun. After all that, so this yarn needs to become a sweater, and I'm very excited about that. And I have enough yarn to make a sweater. So I'm going to put this down and pivot. We need to pivot. Okay, let's try again. But the other thing I have is some leftover bamboo yarn from the mod mini dress that I made. And I've got enough to make something, not really sure what. So it might be fun to see if I can put something together. Okay, I think the fact that I don't have clear inspiration at the moment, obviously we are everywhere right now. I am going to instead use this yarn, which the reason I'm going for this is because this is more low stakes than these two projects, which both have fresh skeins of yarn, a lot of possibility, and this is leftover yarn, which I feel like I can be a little bit more experimental with. So I am going to make a raglan style t-shirt with this yarn. Just make it as big as I can, a big comfy t-shirt using these three colors, which are very pretty. I am already pretty excited about it. You can see I've been experimenting with this yarn already with some granny squares, and that was just because I had a lot of the extra gold color, and this is my favorite granny square. So why don't we get this purple off, free it up, and start making a raglan style t-shirt. 515. Man, this thing is gigantic. Again, using any hook larger than a 4 feels like using a crayon. Okay, I'm really happy with the 5.5. So I'll see you when I've got a little bit to go. This was so the right decision, just exactly what I needed. Good raglan style. So this is what I have so far. Let's try on the yoke. Perfect. Okay, so the idea with any yoke is that you crochet long enough to where you can connect it under your armpits, and then make a tube for your body and a tube for the arms. The idea for this one is to be a t-shirt, just because I don't think I'll have enough yarn for a long sleeve, and I have wanted a crochet t-shirt for a very long time. I did make a linen one here, and that is a YouTube video, but you can never have enough t-shirts. I mean, it's a closet staple. So my plan for this evening is to just work on this and watch Sex in the City. And when, yeah, once the yoke is long enough, then that is really when the next step is. So most likely we'll check back in when that has happened. Making some good progress on this. So let's try on the yoke. First of all, where's my corners? They're pretty invisible. So the increases that I've done are right here. They are pretty seamless. Let me see if you can show them a little better. So I did increases and I stopped the increases after the green. So that is the last increase. And then I'm going to do a couple more rows with no increases to get sort of a cap to it. So let's try this one correctly. Yeah, looking at this gold row will be the last one that I need before I add, oh, so happy with it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this will be the last row, and then I will section off with a chain and do the body first and then the sleeves afterwards. I'm running a little bit low on yarn, playing a little bit of yarn chicken. So when that happens, I mean, when am I not playing yarn chicken? So I do the most important thing and then use whatever's left for the rest. Doing the body would be smarter because I could get away with like only 1 or 2 rows on each side here. I always, whenever I do projects that kind of have increases, I always end up with such an odd amount of yarn. And someday, I don't know, I don't love math, but I like numbers. I like the math in the real world. And I just think, a mathematician would be very interested in seeing, how the yarn gets used when you're kind of going in these like incremental repeating bits. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm super, super happy with this. I need to be mindful, most likely going to use gold for the like cap sleeves, or what's that called? The bands. What is that called? I don't know. The collar and everything, I'm going to be using gold because this is what I have the most of. So ideally I can end on a green row, or I guess I need to end on a purple row. So that gold is the next color that I use. Okay, this is turning out great. So a mistake that I've made in the past with raglan style things is doing the increases all the way until it's long enough to reach in the armpits. And really you only need to do the increases until it reaches the end of your shoulders. And then after that, you don't need to add them anymore. And I really like the fit of this. If you keep increasing until you're ready to connect and section off the pieces, you just end up with something that looks more boxy, which is very cute. So this is a little bit more rounded, going to be a little bit more fitted. This might be one of the most, like, as far as like technical goes, or like most like a professional piece of clothing, this might be very close to the most clothing-esque thing I've ever made. We'll certainly have to see. That's a bold claim. Okay. I have connected with the green. Normally I would do a looser connection, but I want this to be kind of fitted. So I'm only going to do one. This will end up being one of these shells. So I did a chain of 9, and now the goal is to go around and do a whole chain of shells. And then once I get over here, I'll add another chain, and then I will start going around the body. And that will give me a pretty good idea of how much yarn I'm gonna have left, because I am starting to get nervous about running out. And this is how much green I have left, which is not enough, but that's okay. It's all right. Nothing is going to plan, but we didn't plan, did we? So you get what you get. Well, I can say this top is exactly what I needed to make. I feel like it is so cute. I'm so excited to finish it, but I am out of yarn. This is how much green I have left, and this is not enough to do another row. So I have placed another order for more yarn, but I just, okay, here's the thing. This, the past couple of months have been extremely hard to do projects and get them done. And I have so many half finished videos where the product didn't come out right. So I didn't put the video out. And I have decided that it's best for me and it's best for everyone to see some of the failures and the struggles and the realities of making your own clothes. It's never just a clean start a project, work on it, finish it. So I have decided to finish this next time and also have some more projects. So rather than making one video per project, and then, you know, if something goes wrong, not being able to do anything, that I am just going to put out little stories about making these. So this top will be finished in the next video. And oh my gosh, I mean, I could finish it right now, but I want it to be, the sleeves look great, but I want it to be just a little bit longer because this is usually where my bras lie. And I would like this to fit more like a t-shirt, so just slightly farther down, but I am super happy with it. So tune in next time to see this with a couple of extra inches. And I have also started working on a very special, cute project using all of this blue yarn for next time. This is one bra cup and I'm working on the other, and I am very excited about it. I've got big plans for this, so we'll see where it goes. Oh, it just looks so cute already. This looks cute. I feel like I've got my mojo back. So even though this every project that I worked on this video went completely wrong, I still have no idea where my bag is. Enjoy the video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed it. Feel free to leave a comment, or if you have any ideas of where to look for projects, or if you've lost a project and found it in a weird spot, please let me know. Maybe it will give me inspiration to find my own, because at this point, you know, I'm giving up on it. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.